Hello, my crafty friends. Corrine here from Corrine Crafts. I hope you are well. Now, quick card for you today. I've really pushed myself away from my pinks and my purples. I've made a card using my blue inks. Now look at that. I hope you can see it. Can you see that gorgeous leaf, which is my focal point, made with at the same time as I made the backing papers on here. Really, really simple. A little bit of smooching, a little bit of splatting, cutting a leaf, making it stand out by putting something behind it. You could put black, but I thought that might be a little bit strong. A simple Lisa Horton sentiment, and that is the project made. Really quick and easy. I think it could even pass for a mail card. This is my focus, trying to get a few more mail themed cards out, but I'm really loving that. I hope you like it too. So I'll show you now how it was made. So as you all know, one of the things I'm very passionate about is using your crafty stash, using things that you already have in your stash. So I thought I would follow my own advice, and tonight my card that I'm making is made using a pre-bought card blank, because as you probably gathered from a lot of my cards, I maybe get a card blank and chop it down or make my own card blank. So tonight I'm making one with a 5x7 pre-made card blank. I emptied up some of my old craft kits and got loads of card blanks out the other day, so you might see a few more. So it's going to be a side opening card, because normally I do tent folds, but because it's a pre-bought one, it's going to be a side opening. Now I'm going blues and greens. I thought I would try something a little bit different, because I do tend to go a little bit pinky on my projects. I'm only going to be using 2 dyes. I'm going to be using this lovely leaf that does some brilliant embossing, and I'm also going to be using this little sort of background one that does lots of sort of lines. I love that one. I use it a lot. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get these 2 pieces of card. Now what I do, I'll put that to one side because that's like a bonus piece. What the main bit is to do it on here. Now I'm going to sort of concentrate my colouring in the centre. So I need some water. I need a smoosher. As you've probably seen, this is just an old poly bag folded up with some kitchen roll in, and it's really good for controlling where you put the ink. If you don't want to use that, you can put your ink onto your mat and just pick it up, but you can't control it as much. So the first thing I've got 4 ink pads. I've got Spring Meadow, I've got Polar Blue, I've got Ocean Blue, they're very similar, and I've also got Frosted Sea Glass. So they're all water reactive, so they're all going to react with my water. So let's go with oops, Frosted Sea Glass first. Let's try and keep it a little bit tidy on here. So I'm going to pop some of that down, just like that, and then I'm going to spray a tiniest, try to do the smallest bit of water, so you can see it's just going to, so then I'm just going to pick it up and smoosh it round. So you can see it comes onto here, and then all I do is just put some on. Now what you can do is you can dry it in between. Oh, I didn't mention, this is a piece of watercolour card. It's 4 by 6 inches. So because I've done 4 by 6, that's why my card base is 5 by 7. So my card base is 1 inch bigger in all directions to my original topper. So I've got enough of the sea glass on there, so I'm just going to put the rest of it onto this scrap of paper. This one doesn't have to be quite as controlled, so I'm just going to pop that on. I might have to go in with some more inks at the end, but I'm just using up all my scraps onto there. Right, so I've done my sea glass. Let's go with my Polar Blue. Now I'm doing so little that I don't even need to get my heat gun out. If you've got it really soaking, you might need to get your heat gun out, but I've got a little bit there. So if I do that bit last, so we can put this on. Let's put a little bit of the blue on. Now you see I'm trying to roughly avoid there. It probably gets some. Now that's got quite a lot of the blue on, but I'm not going to worry. Let's pick up some of the rest of the blue onto here. So this is what I'm going to cut my leaf out of. So I just want to make sure it's of the same colours. So there we go. Right, let's just clear up some of that. If you ever feel like you've got too much ink, just blot. Brilliant way to do it. Then we're going to come in with Spring Meadow on there. Look at that, it's nearly yellow. Isn't that a lovely colour? A little bit of water. Remember, the more water you use, the more diluted and paler and transparent the colour will be. So if you can keep it fairly less water, you know, quite quite close to the original, you're going to get a better result. So I'm just picking up, so I'm not wasting any of that ink, and I'm not having to create any fresh ink for that. So I've got 2 pieces just like that. So I'm just going to give that a quick blast before we go in with some stamping bits. So if you just bear with me, I'll be right back. So that's dry. It really only took seconds to do. So what I've got now, I might actually do a little bit of sparkle before I go any further. I'm just going to come back in. Well, let's come back in with my frosted seagrass. Now, I have 2 sparkle pens on the go. This one has got some in, and this one is a dry one. So what I tend to do is I lay my colour down with my good one, my sparkle, and I'm not going to touch the coloured ink with that. And then I use this one just basically as a water brush. And then if I wanted to use that, I'm going to just use my smoocher for a minute. I'll just pick some of that up. And then I can put some of the sparkly one on. And it just gives it a lift. Now remember, a sparkle pen is just a water-based medium. It's just water and mica powder. You'd probably make your own, couldn't you? So all I've done is just use the water with the mica instead of regular water. So yeah, so that will work on there. So that is enough on there. It's just enough, can you see, just to give it that lovely sparkle, because it's going to be quite a simple card. So what I want to do next is I want to get a stamping mat. I'm going to put that on there. And I've got a rocker block or a stamping platform or whatever you want. And I've got out a few of my stamps. Now, I think these were rare earth ones from years ago. And I love these. They're paint splats. Look, I've got loads missing. I've got so many missing. It's because I use them all the time. Actually, there's a few more up there. I use them all the time. I love them because it means I can do sorts of paint splats, but controlled. So let's put those on there. Let's get my blue. Remember I said I had 2 blues. So let's get the other blue. And what I tend to do with this is put that like that. Then I'll put my ink pad like that. Now it's got a down. It's clearly got an up and a down on this stamp. Can you see? Look, it's like where it's dribbled. So you really need to just pay attention to that. And what you'll see now is I'm not inking up the stamp. I'm taking the stamp to the ink block and I'm going on like that. So once I've done that one, let's find another one. Now every time you make this, it's going to look different because you're going to use different inks, different splats, you know, however you do it. So let's go with, I don't know if this one will show so much. Let's go with the Spring Meadow. Let's come and try and put, oh yes, it's just showing a little bit. Just looks like you've done splats but controlled them. Let's see if I can do one with one that might actually show up a little bit more. It's just lots of little dots is that one. So let's go with, oops, frosted glass, I think, with that one. Got a bit of sides or angel hair on there. Oh yeah, I like that one. That one looks nice, isn't it? I'm still keeping that area. I don't know why. I just decided I wanted some. There is not always any rhyme nor reason. Right, that's all I'm going to do. Now, you're not going to see all of that. So the other thing I want to do is, people talk about paint stations and workstations. Mine is very, very sophisticated. It is an A4 box covered in a piece of kitchen towel that's been used for a lot of times. You can see all the different ones. I'm going to put that in there. And then I just ripped up another piece of kitchen towel and I'm just going to lay that roughly over where I've done the white. So I've only got a little bit. And then I had a look for some of my Distress Oxide sprays. Now I love these because you're going to be able to add a little bit more. I need to give them a bit of a mix. And then I'm going to spray in here. Oh, wow. Wow, that one came out stronger than I thought. And oh, that one comes out as a mist. That was cracked pistachio. Now the blue, that's it. The barbarian wasn't rattling. The blue, I'm going to take the lid off and I'm just going to give it a couple of drops. Just like that. So we've got different types of colouring. And if you want to, if you feel that that's a little bit strong, all you need to do is go in with your kitchen roll and just blot them away. Easy as. So I've now got 2 pieces. So if I take this off, look, by putting that kitchen towel there, I've more or less protected that area. That's really good. So I've got that piece and I've got that piece. And that's all I'm going to use to make my card. Now, out of this one, I'm going to use my die. That's in there. There it is. And it's just a cut and emboss. So if you've ever used a cut and emboss die, and you know it's an emboss die because look at this. If you look up here, this bit here, there's no blade around those open bits. And that's because the card is going to squash through there. So cut it as regular. And then what you need to do is once it's cut, you then put a rubber mat. You can have whatever brand rubber mat you have and then put it back on the cut, but then take out your magnetic shim if you've got a Gemini and run it back through. And when you do that, you will get an emboss, and I'll show you. So you can see on here, it's cut, but it's also embossed. Can you see that gorgeous detail? I did actually go over this with a little bit more ink on a dauber just to do that. So we've got those two elements just like that. Aren't they lovely? Now I've got another one here. Now let me see. This is the one that I made before. And I might actually use that simply because I've got the same colour combination. So I can save this one to use with that extra little piece that I just cut, that coloured. Wherever it's gone. I've lost it now. I'll find it in a minute because my colours are going to be a bit more accurate, and that still feels a bit damp. This one is the one I did overnight and it's nicely dried. So there we go. Let's move that out of the way as well. So let's bring back that card base that I showed you. This is going to put together really, really quickly. And I love quick cards like this. So I've got my card base. I put some glue on. You can take the centre out if you want to. I know a lot of you do. And actually I've got a couple of marks on there. So just use my glue pickup tool, which is linked in the description below. There we go. And that's going to go on there. Now, I don't want to put that straight on there because I lose it, don't I? But if I get, you know me, if I get my black matte layer and put that on, about 3/16 of an inch, and then put that, it makes it stand out, doesn't it? Much, much better. So I'm just going to grab myself a little bit of my solvent-based glue, which works amazingly, and put that on there, and that's going to go on to here. And you can see by using the glue I can move it round until it fits where it's supposed to do. If I just move that out of the way, you can see I've got the perfect border all the way around. I love that. So this is definitely the bottom look, because if it was a paint splat, it would have dribbled down there, wouldn't it? I need my poke tool. Now, the thing I did, and I remembered to do it today, I got my Sharpie pen and I went round the edge of my white foam tape, just the two outside edges and then the ends with the black. That means that my white foam tape, if I look at it that way, look, it's white, but when you look down there, it's black. It's because I'm using a black cardstock, and so it's going to work so much better because it's going to be a lot more hidden. So we can put that on there. I'm going to grab my PVA glue and I'm going to pop a bit of PVA glue on here. That's going to go just on there. We've got all of our mats and layers really well together, so we don't want to mess it up at this point, do we? Now make sure I've got it the right way around. So cards opening that way. This is opening that way. This is such a simple card, but I'm finding that some of these cards where we do a little bit less but focus really in on some of the techniques are really, really popular. So press that down. Now, as soon as I've pressed down, the foam tape has grabbed. And that means it will, it will hold nice and tightly. But I just needed to give it that little bit of time. So I love that. See, this blue really does from here pull across just there. Now again, if I put that on there, I'm going to lose it. So as I said before, I have got lots of bits. I've got this die, and you'll be able to find these in lots of places, lots of different ones. I've got one in my signature collection and all sorts. But as soon as I put that on there and then put that on there, look at that, didn't that stand out? Actually, that would probably look really nice in black as well to go with that black layer, but I've not done that. So that's what I'm going to do. And the other thing I've done is, as I said earlier, I call it sisal, but I know a lot of people call it angel hair. And I've got the smallest amount today, a really little bit. And I've got my 3D glue, which I was able to top up my supplies when I was at Hobbymaker. Not Hobbymaker, at the NEC, at the craft show. So I now have some more 3D glue from Pinflair this time. So I'll be moving over to my Pinflair brand when I next need to fill up. So I'm going to put that on first. Then I'm going to get my Sizel or Angel Hair. So I just bring it together a little bit and pop it on there. It'll just grab on that glue. Just want it to stay in there. And then I'm just going to pop a little bit behind here. So let's just give a little bit of shaping. There we go. Just behind there. And then we can pop a little bit of glue behind every leaf. So 3D glue means it acts just like a foam pad, but I find it easier. And I'm just going to layer that on top of there, just like that. There we go. That's all I'm going to do with that. Now, I found myself a sentiment. These are Lisa Horton stamps, I believe. I'm sure they are. And I just stamped it out in the blue, one of the blues that I've been using. So I need my tweezers. And I mounted it. So I just cut it so it was just the white was showing. And then I mounted it on a little bit of black. So again, we're pulling that black through. Always, if you just introduce a colour and it's a one-off colour, it's gonna jar a little bit. Now, do I want that? I definitely want that down here. So let's put that just there. And then the final thing I need to do is just a few gems. And I think black gems are going to work on this one. So let's go with the mid-size. So we can put 1, 2. Always try and make sure they're not in parallel lines is my top tip for that. Yeah. So I think I'll do 3 like that. Then I'm going to go down a size. And, oh, I need to bring that down a little bit so it's not in a line. And that one, just there. There we go. And that is all I'm going to do to that. Really, really mixed media. But how fantastic is that? So we've made our own background. We've not been scared of the white space. And we've just used, you know, a simple leaf. One leaf. Who would have thought you could make a beautiful card just with one leaf? It's not tucking out of something. It is just front and centre. But by putting it on that background, I think it really, really works. I love that. This is definitely, it feels to me like a style I really, really want to develop. So I hope you enjoy that. I'm going to leave that there. As always, if any support you can give to my channel would be great. Any likes, any subscribes, any clicking on the links, all helps to get my channel out to you. So if you manage to carry on this far, thank you so very much. There'll be a couple of links to the left, to the right, that will be great if you can click on them. But until next time, my crafty friends, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy my lovely little card. Really quick and easy, and I've dug right into my craft stash and got some of my old card blanks out. So until next time, you take care. Bye for now.